When the evening settles and the day grows still, stories rise softly from memory's hill. These are the letters we carry inside, stories of love, loss, and pride. Welcome, my friend, to Porchlight Letters.
Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Raumati Beach in New Zealand. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Porchlight Letters, podcast number 2431. And today's question that we are answering is, can children be interviewed too? Don't see why not. Children can be part of family storytelling too. This episode explores how to interview your younger family members. And even if the stories are still being formed, kids can tell stories. They are very forthcoming with stories a lot of the time. So children offer a unique perspective. Sorry, I'm totally going blind today. My eyes are not reading like they should be. Just going to make Thursday night very interesting. But anyway, that's another story for another day. So children offer unique perspective. Their view of family life reflects the present moment. They notice different details than adults. So when we were talking about getting different people's perspective, that includes children as well, because the adults will notice things at this level, children notice it at this level. And it's another perspective. And their stories capture everyday life as it is happening. But the other cool part with stories is that their perspective is it gives you a rounder perspective, more of a perspective in the storytelling if you've got children's in there too. Use simple and engaging questions. Children respond best to clear and relatable prompts. Questions about favorite memories, routines, or family traditions work well. Simplicity encourages participation. So if you're in a room with kids and the kids want to be interviewed too, interview them. Don't say, no, this is an adult only thing. No, never, ever, ever say that. You never know when somebody is no longer going to be with us. Keep interviews short and relaxed. Children have shorter attention spans, although sometimes I wonder if mine's actually shorter than children's. But anyway, brief conversations feel more natural and enjoyable. A relaxed setting encourages openness. Incorporate creative activities. Drawing, storytelling games, photo discussions can help children express themselves. Showing them photographs and saying, tell me the story behind this photograph, or have them draw it out. These methods make interviews feel less formal. Creativity often leads to richer responses. And if you take those students and ask with the drawings, ask the child, can I please have that drawing to put into my book, to put into the book about the family, and we're going to put your story with that drawing. It's one way to get them talking. And they'll be like, yes, yes, yes. So now you can take that drawing, preserve it, note the date on there, who drew it, and which story it belongs to. Value their stories as part of history. Children's experiences today becomes tomorrow's history. Recording their perspective preserves a different layer of family life. Their voices matter. Don't ever, ever, ever think, oh, they're a child, they're a nuisance, so I'm not going to interview them. Interview them. They want to be part. And what is really cool is that sometimes children will sit and listen as the older, like me growing up, I would sit and listen to all the memories that got shared. Do you remember this time when we were a kid? Do you remember that time when we were a kid? What about the time we did this? The time we did that? I was fascinated with them. But then that side of my dad's family was very strong on storytellers. So, I was in there. I was one of those. But and why all of this matters is children's stories capture the present for future generations. You are living history right now. What you do matters. So your practical takeaway for today is keep interviews simple, short, and engaging. If you ask kids to tell you a story, I have yet to come across a kid, whether it's a niece or a nephew or a cousin, come across any children that aren't even related to me. I have yet to find any children that would not sit down and tell me a story. I love it. I even love when my grandkids are, they're learning to read. And so I'm like thinking, and so I get them to read me a story rather than me reading them a story. I get them to read me one. And I'm super, super proud of those kids because they are learning and then they get into their storytelling mode, and then they want to tell you, and by getting them to read you a story, it opens them up that they want to tell you other stories about the time that they did this or that, or went and did this, or went to there, or went to their other grandparents' places. They want to tell those stories, so please don't brush them aside. Just keep the interviews simple, short, and engaging. Even have the kids help ask questions. If you're at a family reunion and you're interviewing one of the elders in the family, have the kids ask a question. Their hearts are so pure. Their questions are so innocent. They don't have a filter at this age. And trust me, there's some very interesting stories that will come out. But keep the interviews simple and short. Have them sitting in, and if you can see they want it, and tell them that they can sit in and listen as long as they don't talk, then you can turn them towards the end of the interview and say, do you have a question that you want to ask your great-great-grandmother, or your great-grandmother, or your grandmother? Do you have a question that you'd like to ask them? And a lot of times, sometimes they'll get a little shy and go, no. And other times you can see their face just light up, because you're giving them permission to ask a question that has been burning on them, and they've been trying to sit very, very still, and they're not succeeding very well, but they were told they could sit there as long as they were quiet. So they're trying to stay quiet, but they've got this something inside bursting to come out. So ask them, do you have a question? Do you have a story to tell? And I will tell you this, the elders, they love hearing the kids' stories, because the kids are in the now. They are younger. They're learning different skills to what their grandparents or their aunts and uncles learned when they were kids. And the older people will sit there and listen. Like, I get fascinated when the kids want to tell me stories. But I don't immediately come back, well, in my day. And I'll go, well, that's interesting. So you have that at school? Yep, I got that. Wow. And then it germinates in your brain for a while that the technology that kids are growing up with today is vastly different to the lack of technology we had when we were growing up. So to hear their perspective of it and what they can do with it and things like that is just really, really cool. So keep interviews with kids. Your practical takeaways: to keep interviews simple, short, and engaging. And if you want help creating family interview questions, send us a private message. Let's set up a 30-minute discovery call and get those questions flowing for you. And in closing, today's children become tomorrow's storytellers. And with that, we are out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. And we'll catch you back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. He konara.
The stories we carry stay bright through the night. A small steady glow in the fading light. Stories of love, loss, and pride we share. Until we meet again, keep the porch light burning.